Travis Mangutzel. So the Deseret News has led me to another bombshell breaking LDS church history news from the Joseph Smith Papers. The Joseph Smith Papers are the original documents, or the original forged frauds by Brigham Young and Company. And it's a lot of fun to go through, and yet nobody is actually going through them, apparently, just me, as the church put them out on the internet, and nobody wants to see them. Everybody thinks that everything's fine, nothing to see here, church is still true. Oh, you got another thing coming. Yeah. See, the church is making their moves to destroy this church. But section 111 is what the Deseret News was going over about Joseph Smith's trip to Salem. Unfortunately, Massachusetts cannot be confirmed, as the original document has a different handwriting script, darker ink, and squeezed in to put MA in parentheses. And those of you who have been following me know very well that's not supposed to be in there. It's just Salem. And so the actual place where Joseph Smith went is coded. Salem is some other location.
Attention guests. If you wondering if dorms 7 and 8 are open, they are. Again,
Wow.
7 and 8 are open.
We were finished yesterday at 3, and the previous days people were at 5, after 5, and then the previous day before them was after 4:30. Of course, they didn't really do a good job in this place, but very weird. Alright, so, because the Doctrine and Covenants before 1981 in this church was coded. The Community of Christ, originally called the Reformed Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, still has the the encoded Doctrine and Covenants. And so any proper name of a place, you've got to anticipate that it's coded, unless it actually tells an actual person back in those days. And for that, you'd have to go back to the original 1835 Doctrine and Covenants. And so this section talks about Joseph and a few other people going to Salem to find treasure and to talk to the people about the history of the place and all that stuff. And it's for the purpose of building Zion. And it's August 6th, 1836. And there's some problems because the histories and journals do not go that far. There's a pause that leaves them blank. I took a snapshot. Let's find what that is. Okay. Yeah, 1st of April, April Fool's Day, 1836, Friday, and then they go to editorial note. The journal ends with 2 entries pinned by Warren Cowdery, in history for Joseph Smith, unlike Warren Parrish, as the journal. And that's where it ends. The other one ends in January of 1836, I think. And so there is no other supporting document to defend this section. And I've already gone over with you section 132 about polygamy that has no supporting document and was put in the year before Brigham Young died. All of a sudden the document appears. We've had it all along. No, they didn't. If the current church had to find these original documents and gather them up to work on this project, they didn't have the original document. No, it just all of a sudden appeared because Brigham Young had it written in the year before he died. And so on the Wikipedia page for the Doctrine and Covenants, it shows when certain passages were added to our LDS editions. In other words, the Brigham Young branch off since Joseph Smith. And so it shows in 1844 that sections 103, 108, 112, 118, or 19. Let me zoom in. 119, 124, 127, 128, 135. So when Joseph Smith died, Brigham Young had those additions put in. And I imagine one of those, like section 135, is John Taylor giving his tribute, getting away with murdering Hiram, then being shot by Joseph with the remaining 3 balls and cowering under the bed, while Willard Richards shot Joseph in the back and then dumped his body out the window. Anybody who does actual research will find the truth and will know this church is not true. So in 1876, the year before Brigham Young died, there were quite a number of passages put in. And some can be confirmed, like section 85, the one mighty and strong. Another similar scripture taken from the prophecy in Deuteronomy 15 through 18. So that was in the Times and Seasons, I believe, where it was published. So we have confirmation that it did exist and that it didn't just magically appear the year before Brigham Young died. But section 111, yeah, there it is. It's listed among 108 to 111. And therefore we can't trust it per se. It does appear in the particular passage for the original Doctrine and Covenants of that section. But like I said, none of the other supporting documents support its existence. And so let's... Where are you? You'd be under pictures, wouldn't you? There it is. And so, yeah, it's in a ring-bound notebook, three-ring notebook. And so, yeah, Salem, August 6th, 1836. And, yeah, you can clearly see that somebody added Massachusetts in. And it's talking about treasures in a city for you for the benefit of Zion. If this was true, that Joseph Smith did actually go to a Salem, whatever code it is, whatever decode it is, it has interest from what I understand, having done all the research I've done. And so with the facts that I've gathered and collected and the evidences that I have, I see how this, if it can be authenticated, would fit in. That Salem is actually not Massachusetts. It's a little south of Nauvoo. Way south. And for that, I've been giving you the answers. Because Salem is the Hebrew word for peace. And the Deseret News tried to make it about witches and witchcraft. There's nothing about that in section 111. And so, yeah. Yeah. So I've done the one thumbnail that probably has been deleted by the Mormon YouTube employee about total solar eclipses in 2017 and 2024. Now, they don't list or show where the eclipses are, or the Salems are, but there were 7 over August 21st, and then an 8th one on 8 April 2024, where they cross. And I've checked in that location. There's a Salem road that runs north and south over that location. There's another Salem road also in that vicinity. And then there's, at X marks the spot, there's actually an actual Salem road also. And so they're just using cities here. But there's roads as well with the cities.
Cool, I guess. Are you done?
This one shows it. Biblical eclipse, coincidence, Salem. So Salem, Oregon, Salem, Idaho, Salem, Wyoming, Salem, New Hampshire, Salem, Missouri, Salem, Kentucky, Salem, South Carolina for the 2017, the 7 Salems of 2017 solar eclipse. As a parallel, yeah, Psalm 76:2. They have here refers to Jerusalem as Salem, as a parallel for Zion. From the Joseph Smith papers, we also get the one that Brigham Young did not want put in either, that has never been put in, and you have to actually listen to me and type it in Google search, 19 July 1840B. And preferably full transcript, otherwise you got to click for the full transcript, and it works better on a computer rather than your cell phone. But in the Joseph Smith papers, he says that many of you think it's Independence, Missouri. It's not. And so the #1 video I have, it is incorrect. I had to correct myself when I found out, because I had been fooled just like the rest of us. And so that would be interesting to know. I tried to see what was going on in 1836. I can't seem to find anything of what was going on historically in the timeline. And let's see if I can find a church historical timeline. I think this one, yeah, because the Kirtland Temple was just dedicated in March 27th, so that he was then there a week later during Passover for the coming of Elijah and Moses. On Passover, see, there's a whole bunch of Jewish connections, and see, my seminary teacher would tell me about them, but It's like nobody else knows about him in the church. I guess my seminary teacher went off script. But yeah. So Kirtland is Shinehaw when decoded, but they didn't decode Shinehaw in section 117, as I went over with you. So 36. Yeah, priesthood keys restored in Kirtland Temple. Oops. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Oops, oops, oops. They don't say that anymore. And this is in the primary manual, so that's why they got away with it. So they teach us correctly when we're young and then deceive us when we grow up. And when we say, no, that's not what I was taught in primary, then they say, shut up, kid, get out, you're excommunicated, get out of here. So yeah. Yep. And then 1837, that was the Kirtland, Kirtland Safety Society. Didn't that begin in 1836 or did it begin in 1837? No, it began, they proposed it in 1836, but then organized it on January 2nd, 1837. And so many of you ex-Mormons probably have heard that this section 110 or 111 is a failed prophecy of Joseph Smith's. Well, you can now see there's no confirmation that it's real. And there's no confirmation that it's Massachusetts. And so we don't have any records of Joseph Smith during this time. We only have the original Doctrine and Covenants that talked about it, and it wasn't added in until. And so I'm kind of curious, why insert Massachusetts after doing the original? Because they still had the coded version. They could have left it that way. Maybe somebody put it in there to make it look like it was being decoded, but they didn't decode other things. And so, yeah, it's weird. I can't confirm that it was by Joseph Smith, and I can't confirm. I'm confirmed it's not Massachusetts. And so the Deseret News is perpetuating a deception on Mormons by pushing that it had to do with Salem, Massachusetts and the witches and such back then. And they try to tease you by saying, what did Joseph Smith say about witches? And then you only find out that Oliver Cowdery spoke on witches. They left you hanging on Joseph Smith. So, but yeah, his ancestor had been a witness for a brother-in-law who was sending two sisters up the river. Can't remember if it was his wife or his sister or aunts or something like that. I did the report in Thomas Robinson's Christianity class, as I did one on the rise of the church, the Mormon church, and he helped me realize I still had Mormon bias imposed in that report, but that's where I learned of that witch trial that the Smith ancestor was involved in, condemning those women. But yeah, sad day in history. So I think that's it. I've been going over with you the actual Salem, which represents New Jerusalem, which is Zion, and Joseph Smith in July 1840 Joseph Smith Papers says Zion and Jerusalem shall be built. And it's not the one in Israel. Though I did hear yesterday a guy telling me that there's a company of a guy he personally knows and has been told by that guy that they have all of the pieces and walls and doorknobs and all the stuff needed for it all ready to go. They just have to blow up the mosque. and endure a war, a survival war, that will be massive in proportion. And then they can send in all the pieces and start assembling it. It's all ready to go. But maybe we can get them to go to Southern Illinois, since you guys missed the Exodus in 2020. But it's not going to be built correctly. It's supposed to be mountain cities, so pyramids. But maybe we can put it on the top as a capstone.